When you think about businesses that are selling through the roof, like Aloe or Allbirds, sure, you think about a great product, a cool brand, and great marketing. But an often overlooked secret is actually the businesses behind the business, making selling, and for shoppers, buying, simple. For millions of businesses, that business is Shopify. Nobody does online business better than Shopify. It's home of Shop Pay, the #1 checkout in the world. You can use it to boost conversions up to 50%, meaning way less carts going abandoned and way more sales going through to checkout. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/income, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/income to upgrade your selling today. That's shopify.com/income.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Fiscally responsible, financial geniuses, monetary magicians. These are things people say about drivers who switch their car insurance to Progressive and save hundreds. Visit progressive.com to see if you could save. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary, not available in all states or situations.
This podcast contains adult themes and language, and some of the things that we discuss may be disturbing to some listeners. In this podcast, we discuss sexual assault, torture, race, and murder. Listener discretion is advised. Please take care of yourself.
Fruities, welcome to our newest segment. Love you, bye. I'm Wendy, and that's Beth.
Hello.
And this is going to be basically a biweekly minisode, and we're here for just some fun, informal chit-chat and bullshit and catching up. It's a work in progress.
Yes, so if you're listening to this and you have an idea for us, what we should cover or talk about, get at us.
Yeah. Extra, read all about it. Fruitloops has some updates for you, and we are gonna shout it. That's right. Welcome to a special bonus mini episode.
Yeah, because we got a new schedule we're working with so that we don't burn out.
Yes.
So we would love to do multiple episodes every week, but yeah, we both have jobs and we're super busy, and Wendy moved and some shitty things happened, and so we've had a lot going on in our lives.
Yeah.
And so we're just we want to keep going with the podcast.
Absolutely, yeah. So we're just adjusting the schedule and trying out some new things. You'll still get a podcast dropping in your feed every week. We're just switching it up. And if you guys have any ideas on things you want to hear or see us do, you know where to find us. But we're going to see how this goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So welcome, everybody. Welcome to our lives.
Yes. Now, yes, thank you. Byeee tibinafi, bienvenidos bitches, and welcome. I'm Wendy. She's Beth.
Hello.
And together, we host Fruitloops Serial Killers of Color.
We do.
Allegedly. Also, if you are interested in joining our Patreon, come on over. The water is fine. But just want to let listeners know that if you're going to sign up for Patreon, do it online at apple.com. Don't do it in the app because I think Apple will take some of your money. So if you want to save, go online and you can still access our show through the
RSS
Apple
feed,
app.
right?
Yeah, but you can still access your Patreon content for Fruit Loops in the app. You just if you're going to sign up and purchase, do it online. Because Apple's taking a percentage.
I don't really know how it works, so
I don't
but
either.
I know that Apple is taking a bite if you sign up, and it's a significant amount of money. Yeah,
I don't like it. But
not a fan.
There you have it. Now let's get into it, my friend. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. So we are coming back from a fairly long break.
I
think this is the longest break we've ever taken.
I think so too.
And and it's because, as I mentioned, we had a lot going on in our lives.
A lot going on. And I don't know if anybody is paying attention to the first quarter of 2025.
Oh, geez.
Boy,
Yeah.
oh boy.
It's a shit show.
It is a shit. It's painful. It's painful
Yeah.
to watch, and I mean, it's just ugh.
It's terrible.
Okay, so yeah, we've been through some stuff. We're back. What else is going on with you?
Let's see. My grandson and my daughter are still living with me.
Nice.
So that's nice.
Multi-generational housing. I mean,
Yeah.
they say that everybody in those multi-generational homes is healthier and
Really?
happier. And
Wow.
grandparents live longer when they
Yeah.
are in close proximity to their grandkids. Yeah, just saying. It's all
Yeah. I was going to say my next door neighbor, she is really interesting lady. She was in the Peace Corps in the 70s.
Hell yeah. Nice.
Yeah. And she was in Laos. And so she's really fascinated
America's
by that.
Secret Wars.
Oh, yes. Yes,
Yeah.
correct.
Mm-hmm.
So she's really connected to the community, and she studied anthropology in school. So
Oh,
she's interested
I've met her.
in
She
other
is actually
cultures.
a remarkable woman.
Yeah, she is.
Mhm.
And she was also talking about that, how like before modern times that
Uh-huh.
people would live in multi-generational
Compounds or
groups.
yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. And, the grandparents can help the parents, and
Mhm.
the parents help the grandparents, and the kids benefit. And
Oh, yeah.
it's nice.
Oh yeah. I think it's a purely like Western thing, like one family per house.
It is. Yeah. The
And-
nuclear family.
Yeah, and actually, I think it's damaging. I mean, we're not supposed to do this family stuff by ourselves. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I just moved to North Carolina because there is family close to help, and yeah, it's not something that we're supposed to do on our own. So I'm really, really happy that your grandson gets you, and you get him, and your daughter gets you, and everybody. It just benefits everybody.
Yeah. I have to say it was an adjustment.
Of course.
There was an adjustment period, but
Yeah.
I'm really happy right now. So
Oh,
it's
I
good.
bet. I
Yeah.
love that for you.
Thank you. What's going on with you? You're renting a house.
I've rented a home. It's safe. We're together. We have everything we need. I've started gardening. I don't know if the Patreon saw. I finally got some sprouts.
Woohoo.
I have so many things growing, and I've been, on garden TikTok. And part of the impetus for this is this administration is going so hard, and the tariffs and no eggs in the store. Like, we gotta get some food growing and get some chickens and
Yeah.
ASAP.
Yeah,
to
I
just
kind
in
of
case.
feel like
It feels apocalyptic.
It does, and during World War II, they had those victory gardens. I feel like everybody should be growing victory gardens.
What's a victory garden?
Oh, it was a garden that people, grew
Like
gardens
a community garden?
No,
Or
they,
do you
they
have a
would
victory
do it
garden in your
their-
own backyard?
in your own backyard. I mean, it could be a community garden, but it was
Uh-huh.
just everybody had gardens because there wasn't enough food.
Yeah, it's quite alarming. But I've found peace in this gardening project, and I don't know if it's true, but like I feel like something happens when I'm like touching the dirt and touching the seeds and touching the plant and like taking care of
Yeah.
these things and learning patience, and it's just been super relaxing and rewarding. And now that the end times are near, I'm hoping that, me and my family will have enough food to survive.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Me and old Whitey were actually talking the other day about like maybe we should start hiding cash under the mattress. Like, because,
Oh, don't tell anybody.
Oh, no. That's a good point. Yeah, cut that out. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I mean, you have to I feel like the world is fundamentally different than when it was 5, 10, 20 years ago. And
It
we sort of
is.
have to rethink and reimagine
Everything. Yeah.
how can I be well? How can I be safe? How can I be happy? And how can I ensure the same for the people around me?
Yeah.
Okay, friend, why don't you tell me what has been bringing you joy? I used to ask what you consume and how you doing, what you consuming, but now I want to know what's bringing you joy. Is
What's
it a
bringing
piece
you
of
joy?
media, a piece of content, a cool quote you heard? Is there a person that's bringing you joy?
Yeah, actually,
Making you
we
laugh.
have
What is
a
it?
new person at work who's
Okay.
really interesting.
Oh,
Yeah, he and I have a lot of cool conversations about nerdy stuff. So,
Oh.
like weird stuff that I'm interested in, like the origins of last names. I don't know. It's a weird. I'll start
that's not weird. Actually, I
Is
went
it?
down a rabbit hole of how Black people acquired their last
names.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
it's not unusual.
history and stuff
Yeah.
like that. And so he and I are both interested in those kinds of things. So
Hell yeah.
that's pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
that's nice.
I love that. Are you this person's boss?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Be careful. I'm just kidding.
Be careful.
Be careful.
No,
Don't go crazy.
No, he's also like 30 years old and married and everything like that. So there's none of that going on.
Good.
Don't
yeah,
even-
I mean,
don't even go
typically
there.
the people that you need to be concerned about anywhere throughout the history of humankind is men. So
Yeah, that's true.
Beth,
Yeah.
I think is a safe place. So well,
Yeah.
good. I'm glad. So he's bringing you joy. You're having wonderful conversations. Are you watching
Yeah.
anything or listening to anything, or is there a
Yes.
TikTok account you really love?
So I've been watching Severance. Do you watch that?
I love Severance, but I don't want to pay for my Apple subscription. So my plan is that when season 2 of Severance ends,
Is
I'm going
done.
to get the 7-day free trial.
Free trial
of
and binge it all.
Plus and binge it all. Yeah, but it's good.
So,
I've heard a lot of good things about
it's
it.
really good, and you should have like 2 weeks, and then it'll, or not even.
Oh, it's almost over?
It's almost over. This season is almost over, so I think another week, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
God, I loved the first season. It's the second season
Yeah.
now, right?
Second season, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Also watching 1923, which you probably wouldn't be interested in, but I really like it.
What's it about?
It's
Oklahoma?
No.
The Tulsa Massacre? Oh, okay.
No. No, it's a Western. It's like a prequel to Yellowstone. It's the family, the same family, but in 1923, and what they're doing during that time. And I was telling this to our mutual friend, and I said it was a Western, and that there was like a fight between the farmers and the herders, no, not the farmers. I don't know.
But you like it. This show is called,
I was telling him about it, and he was like, "You're making it even more boring. I really don't want to watch this now."
Somebody said that to your face? Oh my God.
He's like, "I really don't want to watch it now."
That's so funny. Oh my God, I love that. Well, listen, there's a lid for every pot. And if 1923 is your lid for your pot, girl, more power to you. I love that for you.
I like Westerns.
I know.
Can't help it.
I know you do. I know you do. Wonderful.
And then Wicked. Did you watch Wicked?
Saw it in theaters. I haven't streamed it though yet.
So good. So good. I went in. I'd never seen the play. Didn't know the music, so I went in blind, and I didn't know, how if I was going to like it or not. But I loved it.
Oh my God, Cynthia Erivo is a fucking force to be
Amazing.
reckoned with.
Yeah.
I have been a fan of. Remember, she was on a weird. I think it was The Outsiders on HBO. There was a TV show about kids that had been murdered, and she was this awkward black girl who came to the town to try to solve the case and did a profile on the serial killer. I might be getting the name wrong, but she is so amazing, so talented. I mean, how does she do it? And she's so beautiful, and she's British. Oh my God, I just love it. And I really enjoyed Wicked. I am telling you, actually, I'm going to put it on the queue tonight. I might watch it while I go to sleep.
Watch that shit.
It just felt so fun, and I cannot wait for part 2 to come out.
Yeah, I didn't realize there was a part 2, so I was like, what?
Wait a minute. Yeah, no, that is going to be so exciting. I cannot wait. But yeah, that was a good one.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place. For changes big and small. Loud or quiet. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Have you ever wondered about things that go bump in the night, or objects in the sky, or other things you just couldn't explain? Then join me, Jim Mallard, on my podcast, The Mallard Report. Each week, you'll find engaging conversations with guests who are authors, historians, and scholars who lend their expertise as we discuss current events and venture into the fringe and paranormal. The Mallory Report hits controversies head on, yet remains conversational, and can be found on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and any other major podcast platform.
Have you come across the show Mo on Netflix?
How's it spelled?
Just M-O.
Nope. I mean, it didn't ring a bell.
That's okay.
At all. So I was just wondering how it was.
Mo, and it's on Netflix, I think. Mo Amer is a comedian. He is a Palestinian refugee, and it's like a comedy drama series on Netflix. And it's basically about like his experience living in Houston. He and his family are sort of in this weird purgatory because Palestine's not a state and they're in the United States and their citizenship is like not solid. Their status isn't solid. So, you know, the family is like stressing about that and trying to survive. And it is, I mean, considering the state of the world, it's a really, if you know nothing about, like if you've never met, a Palestinian person or don't, like, what's this all about? It's a good way to get a look into the plight of somebody who might be experiencing this. So it's funny, and it's also
sounds really good.
A teachable program, for lack of a better word.
I'm looking now, and I don't see it in Netflix.
Oh, what?
Is it in Netflix?
Yeah, it's just MO on Netflix, and it's got a really fun cast. Like, I don't know if you know who Toby Ngiwe is, but he's a rapper from Houston, and he's in it. He plays Mo's friend. And it's an amazing class. His girlfriend is Mexican-American, so there's that aspect of it too. It's hilarious and also dramatic, and it's really, really good. So I highly recommend that. That's been bringing me joy. Paradise? Have you been watching that on Hulu?
No.
Okay,
What's
Sterling
that?
K. Brown is in it. I can't really explain what it's about, but I was reluctant because the picture on the widget is a picture of Sterling K. Brown. Love him. But then you get into the description, and it's about he works for the president. And it's like, I don't want to watch a show with Sterling K. Brown when he's not the president. So I keep hearing all these wonderful things about it, and I go in. And basically, it's called Paradise because there's like, I feel like I'm going to give it away. I'm going to spoil it. There is this society that is like a paradise, but it is, it's fragile.
But it's not?
It's not real. No.
But it's
when
not.
you pull back the curtain, it's just a Jeff Goldblum in a green suit. But that's really good. And then Righteous Gemstones has been so fun. There's a new season, I think season 4. It's the final season. But Righteous Gemstones is like this comedy, and it's these Southern TV evangelicals who are really just horrible people. They swear, they do cocaine, they, engage in sexual activities with sex workers who are not their wives. They steal. I think one of them killed somebody. And it's just really, really funny. You know, the dude who was in Tropic Thunder and Eastbound and Down, I don't know what that guy's name is, but the dude with the mullet who is hilarious. He is one of the kids, and John Goodman is in it. It's just really, really so funny. There's no black people in it. I think there's maybe one or two who are servants or something, but it's a really funny show. All right, my friend.
The Righteous Gemstones. What's that on?
Max. Yeah,
okay.
And there's like 3 seasons already done, so you have plenty to binge.
Okay, all right. I've been watching on Max The Pit.
Yeah, tell me about that, because it feels like diet ER, and I already did my ER. I already did my ER purgatory prison.
I wouldn't say diet. No, I would say ER was the diet.
What? Oh, so this is like double stuffed ER.
Yeah.
Okay.
Double stuffed ER.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's more realistic. There is a diverse cast.
Okay. That was one of the pluses with ER. That's why we loved it.
Oh, I was thinking about you when I was watching it because there's blood and guts.
Hell yeah.
I know you love that stuff.
So much. Wonderful. Okay, maybe I'll watch it now.
Yeah, I almost didn't watch it. I mean, actually, I was not going to watch it, but I saw an article about how doctors love it. And
really?
I was like, maybe there's something to this. And then my daughter loves medical shows, so
y'all watch
we're
together.
watching it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, well, you've convinced me. Did I mention I have the flu and everything hurts and I feel like shit?
Yeah.
But hey.
Yeah.
Fran, shall we get into some stories?
Let's get into some news stories.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do it.
Hey, I feel like we should have told people up top what we would be doing, but I'll do that in the next minisode. Sorry. This is a...
Oh, well, yeah, let's tell them now.
Oh, okay. So, thanks for being here. We are going to just tell you real quick some of the things that we're going to be talking about. We're going to be doing some Rest in Powers, a couple updates. The Delphi murders tape was released. There is the Mahmoud Khalil story that we'll have to talk about, and a fraternity hazing death. What stories do you got?
What stories do I have? So, I was going to talk about Mahmoud Khalil,
Mm-hmm.
And there's a woman, a 20-year-old woman who disappeared in the Dominican Republic.
Oh.
Who's missing.
Still missing.
Let's see. Yeah, this just happened like March 6th, I think.
Okay.
The Menendez brothers hearing rescheduled.
Ooh.
A lady who was arrested for imprisoning and abusing her stepson for 20 years.
That's
Yeah.
a horrific rendition of Cinderella.
Yeah, it is.
Oh my God.
And then an update on the guy who was killed, they thought by a bear, and it turned out he was murdered.
Yeah, I remember that one. I think I sent you the update. It was a dude. So we are going to talk about all that and plenty more. So let's kick it off.
Let's get into it.
Just a couple rest in paradises to Angie Stone, who was a Black woman. She was a pioneer for women in hip hop and the neo soul movement. Oh yeah. And Angie died in a car accident this past week.
That's sad.
I think she was leaving a show, and there was multiple people in the car, but she was the only one who was killed. She was 63 years old. Update, 5 years after Breonna Taylor was killed, a Louisville rep named Morgan McGarvey honored her on the House floor in Washington, D.C., saying Breonna loved her family, her community, and more than anything, she loved life. And in the face of injustice, we cannot be silent. We must speak up. We must say her name, Breonna Taylor. So that's all I got for the Rest in Powers. Do you have any?
Nope.
Okay.
Sorry.
Well, I know that we both had the Mahmoud Khalil story.
Yeah, why don't you take it?
Okay,
Take it
so
away.
let's talk about that. So Mahmoud Khalil was a Palestinian refugee.
Or is it?
Yes, he's not. He's still with us. A Palestinian refugee. He grew up in Syria. And when the Hamas attack happened in October of 2023, he was a graduate student at Columbia University. So he just launched into his activism bag. And I don't know if you remember, there was law enforcement. The university was saying all these protests were anti-Semitic, and kids were getting arrested, expelled, prevented from getting jobs after they graduated for supporting, calls to end genocide. And Khalil, he was kidnapped by ICE in front of his apartment and was immediately set to be deported. And on March 10th, a judge temporarily blocked the Trump administration's order to deport him. Now, Khalil is a permanent legal resident. And
Yeah, he has a green card, right?
yes, he has a green card, no history of crime. They snatched him up in front of his apartment
For protesting.
for protesting. They're calling his protests anti-Semitic, that he was engaged in anti-Semitism. He has a pregnant American wife. She's 8 months pregnant. And when they snatched him up, they took him from his home in New York, then sent him to New Jersey, and then flew him to a detention center in Louisiana. And his family had no idea where he was
yeah.
or how to get a hold of him. His lawyers couldn't talk to him for a time. I think now they have been in touch with him. And Mahmoud has been, when people ask his lawyers, hey, how's he doing? And his lawyer was like, well, he'll say things like, the food is really bad here, but it's not that bad because there are people in Gaza who have no food at all. Or he'll say, gosh, it's really, really cold in this place, but, there are people in the world who don't even have roofs over their heads. So he's, I just think that's a remarkable perspective when considering that your freedom was snatched from you unjustifiably.
Yeah, still thinking about other people.
Exactly. And, the scary thing is that his lawyers pointed out that the American right wing has this propensity to test out the courts and the law, just see what sticks. Let's see what awful thing we can
Let's see
get
what
up to
we
the
can
Supreme
get away
Court.
with. Yeah.
Yeah. Like that one decision where there wasn't even a real plaintiff at the Supreme Court, where there was an alleged gay couple that didn't exist who couldn't get a cake or something made. The Dobbs decision is another one where they were just testing these cases in courts all over the place and just sort of seeing what sticks. And then we get bad law or bad precedents. And so protests have...
Like they care about precedent.
Right. Yeah. I mean, the rules are totally different right now. The protests have erupted all over the place. A bunch of people, hundreds of people went to Trump Tower, and 100 of them were arrested with zip ties. There are people taken to the streets. And at one point, the Trump administration was threatening to take away the funding to all of these universities where there was massive protests.
Yeah.
And guess what? He took away Columbia's funding anyway. So anyway, it's just, and there are people from all walks of life, including many Jewish organizers who are chanting, not in our name, and Jews say, stop arming Israel. I mean, I think it's apparent to everybody who has eyeballs that this is not good.
No.
So that's the information I have about Mahmoud Khalil. I'm following the story. I shared on our social media what information I found that I thought was reputable about his case, and we'll just be following it because this is really fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Scary is what it is.
Oh my God. Yeah. Who's next? Who's next? Anybody who pisses off the Trump administration for saying something. People are getting...
going to be targeted. Yeah.
My understanding is people who are criticizing Elon Musk are being sued, because he did... now what I guess we have to say is a gesture in which his arm was completely straight, and it kind of looks like a gesture that people used to do in Germany in the 40s. We can't just say what it is. Otherwise, Elon will get very mad and come after you. So it's you can't call a thing without getting in trouble anymore. It's just it's bonkers. It's bonkers. So
yeah, it is bonkers.
Do you enjoy science, spooky stories, and all things paranormal? We do too.
While we would love for most paranormal stories to be true, we are here to tell you that they probably aren't. But that doesn't make them any less fun to speculate about.
We are the Spooky Science Sisters podcast. In this podcast, we bring you bi-weekly discussions on possible scientific explanations behind the supernatural. Backed up by research articles and other credible sources, we do deep dives into things like archaeology and physics and share in-depth discussions with topic experts.
Visit us at SpookyScienceSisters.com to listen to a couple of skeptics debunk some of your favorite alien encounters, cryptid sightings, and ghost stories with science, sass, and a significant amount of laughter.
Thank you, and stay spooky.
Listen to Mr. Bunker's Conspiracy Time podcast.
It's a fun show about weird stuff.
New episodes every Wednesday, ya eggheads. I'm Art.
And I'm Andy.
And Mr. Bunker's Conspiracy Time is a podcast about conspiracies, the paranormal, UFOs, unsolved mysteries.
We're going to be discussing the Kennedy assassinations.
Oh yeah, that's his nickname, Finger Banging Bob Lazar. Give me some aliens with some good frickin' spacecraft.
The whole enchilada.
The only thing bigger than Bigfoot's feet are our egos.
If you like simulation theory, ancient history, egghead science, and Mandela effect, that kind of stuff.
So check it out. New episodes every Wednesday. All the links you need on MrBunkersConspiracyTime.com.
And we'll see you in the bunker.
What other news stories you got, my friend?
I mentioned the 20-year-old student or the woman who disappeared in the Dominican Republic. So she disappeared on March 6th. Her name is Sudiksha Konanki. Sorry if I mispronounced that.
Okay.
Sudiksha is an Indian citizen, but a U.S. permanent resident. She was originally from Chantilly, Virginia, and a junior at the University of Pittsburgh studying biological sciences and chemistry, and she was on a pre-med track.
Oh.
So smart girl.
Yeah. About to do big things.
Yeah, smart woman, I should say. And she and 5 friends went to Punta Cana in the Dominican Republic for spring break.
Yeah.
And I also apologize because there's a dog barking in the background.
Don't hear it.
Oh, good. I know what's happening. My grandson's playing with the dog, and she's just barking. Yeah. Anyway, Sudiksha was last seen on surveillance video on March 6th around 4:15 a.m. She's heading to the beach with friends and 2 men that they had met on a night out. I guess they went to a nightclub, and then they went to the beach. Most of the people returned to the hotel around 6 a.m.
Okay.
And Suriksha stayed at the beach with one of the men. The 24-year-old man has provided inconsistent accounts of the events, but the police say he's cooperating.
And it's the Dominican Republic police?
Yes.
Okay.
In one version of events, he told the police that he and Suriksha went into the ocean and then were swept away by a wave. Then he felt sick, so he got out of the water and went back to his hotel room. But he also said that he fell asleep on the beach. And then in another story, he allegedly told the police that he saw Suriksha walking along the beach with the water up to her knees in the direction of where she had left a cover-up on a lounge chair. So,
Sir?
Yeah.
Tell us where she is.
Yeah. So,
what is going on?
He was seen on surveillance video returning to his room at about 10 a.m.
Okay.
And he was barefoot and without his shirt. So, don't know what happened. I'm not going to name him because he's a person of interest. He's not, he hasn't been arrested or anything yet.
Fair.
Yeah. And his family also described him as gentle and incapable of harm, but we know that you don't always know what you're capable of. So
yeah, true.
Yeah.
True.
And they're investigating it. They're not ruling out foul play. They're investigating it as a possible drowning, but not ruling out foul play. And the FBI and the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, whatever's left of those departments, are involved in the search.
Whatever's left.
Whatever's left of those departments.
Why do you say that?
Because the Trump administration is gutting
everything. Yes.
All these departments. Yeah. So whatever's left of them, they're over there searching for her.
You know what's kind of interesting about the dismantling of, government agencies that we've relied on for so long is, I know people who work for the federal government who are like, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
And imagine how scary it must be for those people. I can't say enough how fucked up everything is.
Yeah.
And what was the young lady's name again?
Suriksha Kananki.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And I don't know if I pronounced that right, but...
Okay, but we'll be following that story, and hopefully there will be good news when she gets to come home safely. That's what our hope is.
That's what our hope is.
Our hope is. Did you see that they released 43 seconds of the Delphi murders tape?
No.
Oh, girl. Well, all I'm going to say is I'm just scrolling, minding my business, not doing any of the things that I really need to do, like my job.
Right.
And I'm scrolling and I see on Instagram this really weird tape, and it looks like, hey, that's the Delphi Murders Bridge. And for 43 seconds, you see the footage of Abby Williams, who was 13, and Liberty Libby German, who was 14, as they're walking off the bridge down a trail. And you can hear a man tell the girls, guys, down the hill. And we know that Richard Allen was convicted of the killings and sentenced to 130 years in prison. But the video was released by Allen. Richard Allen has supporters, apparently. And they released the video after Allen's attorneys filed a motion challenging that 2024 conviction last year. And the video was bone-chilling. I don't think anybody needs to watch it, especially knowing what happens yet. But it was chilling because it felt like all throughout the video, like the girls' voices sounded afraid to me when they were talking to each other. And they were like trying to be polite. Like one of them said, hey, like really like in a meek kind of way, like what's this guy up to?
Right.
And it seemed to me like by the way she was holding the phone, I just sensed fear from what I watched. And it was really uncomfortable to watch. So when I realized what I was watching, I couldn't watch anymore. And I was done looking at anything else on the internet yesterday. But I just wanted everybody to know that the video has been released. I don't know if it changes anything for those of us who had been following the case and were relieved to see that Richard Allen was convicted. So,
yeah. Okay, well, thanks
you're welcome.
That information.
You're welcome. Happy to, I'm a servant of the people. Anyway, you got any more stories?
Yeah, so the Menendez brothers, there's something going on with their case.
Mm-hmm.
There was a resentencing hearing. Let's see.
This happened recently? Like this year, 2025?
Recently. There's a clemency hearing.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
So Gavin Newsom set a hearing date for the Menendez brothers that will determine whether a clemency application goes forward for the brothers.
Interesting.
It's scheduled for June 13th.
Okay.
So it'll be a while before it comes out.
Sure.
But yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. I was listening to something, I don't remember what it was, where they were talking about the Menendez brothers, and they were saying that the government attorney, the DA or whatever, is like being really like doesn't believe that they were
abused
or that they should have any other considerations or anything.
That's awful. That's awful. That's, I think, a big problem in our court system. I was listening to wrongful conviction today, and they were talking about how there's a new law. So people who were sentenced before this new law came out should be released from prison. But the courts don't want to have to do all the paperwork.
Right.
It'll clog up the court system, which
they don't want to do it.
Is awful. Yeah. So for this prosecutor to be like, well, this is going to hurt our record of, however many percentage of convictions we've had over the lifetime of this office.
So it's not just that, he's accusing them of lying about self-defense, and then also saying that it could not have been self-defense because they were not being immediately threatened,
Okay.
They planned it out and stuff like that. But when you're a kid and you're sexually abused, and I don't know what happened, but I'm just saying if they were sexually abused and they're kids, they don't have to be, I don't think they don't have to be immediately threatened for them to feel like their lives are in danger,
I don't think so either. But I mean, if we look over, I think that that's a hard argument for prosecutors and DAs to buy. But there are so many instances where people who have been abused, this happens a lot to women of color, who end up in self-defense taking the lives of their abuser or their captor or trafficker, and they get in trouble. The girls, the women.
Right.
Like the harmed
because
person.
They weren't immediately in danger, but, they knew that if this person, had the chance, they'd kill him. So,
it doesn't make any sense. And I hate it here. May I be excused?
Yeah. So anyway, that's what's going on with the Menendez brothers case.
Awful. Okay, well, we'll be following that one. Real quick, there was a girl in Mesa, a 14-year-old girl, Emily Pike.
Oh, yeah.
I saw Mesa, and I was wondering if you'd heard anything about it.
I did, yeah. I didn't have it in my list of stories, but yeah, I did hear about that one. I think she was living in a group home. She disappeared, and then they found her body somewhere near Globe.
On Valentine's Day. She was 14 years old. She went She was reported missing in January. She is from the San Carlos Apache tribe, and they found her body. Her death is tragic. This is a terrible loss for the teenager's family and the tribe, according to Terry Rambler, the San Carlos Apache tribal chairman.
Looks like she was dismembered.
Oh, I did not see that detail in the article I read. Oh, my God.
Yeah. So she was living in Mesa in a group home, originally from, as you mentioned, the San Carlos Apache tribe. Yeah, they found her body off the 60 northeast of Globe. And she'd been dismembered.
Oh, my gosh. I did not realize that detail. And this is an epidemic. We've talked about it a lot. We've had this show for years, and it comes up often because it's still a problem. A 2016 study by the National Institute of Justice found that over 84% of American Indian and Alaska Native women have experienced violence in their lifetime, with more than 56% having faced sexual violence. And in 2020, homicide was among the top 10 leading causes of death for American Indian and Alaska Native women age 1 to 45. So Pike's family described her as a joyful and creative soul who loved animals, K-pop, and Roblox. So just rest in power to Emily Pike. Love and light to her loved ones and community. Yeah, the Bureau of Indian Affairs, as well as San Carlos Apache Tribal Police and the FBI are all working to try to get to the bottom of this and find whoever's responsible. But to date, there have been no arrests made. So we'll be following that one.
Yeah, that sounds kind of like a serial killer,
Yeah, I mean, we'll just have to stay tuned. Yeah, it's awful.
The #1 selling product of its kind with over 20 years of research and innovation. Botox Cosmetic, out of botulinum toxin A, is a prescription medicine used to temporarily make moderate to severe frown lines, crow's feet, and forehead lines look better in adults.
Effects of Botox Cosmetic may spread hours to weeks after injection, causing serious symptoms. Alert your doctor right away as difficulty swallowing, speaking, breathing, eye problems, or muscle weakness may be a sign of a life-threatening condition. Patients with these conditions before injection are at highest risk. Don't receive Botox Cosmetic if you have a skin infection. Side effects may include allergic reactions, injection site pain, headache, eyebrow and eyelid drooping, and eyelid swelling. Allergic reactions can include rash, welts, asthma symptoms, and dizziness. Tell your doctor about medical history, muscle or nerve conditions including ALS or Lou Gehrig's disease, myasthenia gravis, or Lambert-Eaton syndrome and medications, including botulinum toxins, as these may increase the risk of serious side effects. For full safety information, visit BotoxCosmetic.com or call 877-351-0300.
See for yourself at BotoxCosmetic.com.
Next story, did you hear about the fraternity hazing death at an HBCU?
No.
So in Louisiana, fraternity pledge Caleb Wilson, he was a 20-year-old junior. He died a couple weeks ago. And Caleb was pledging to a fraternity at Southern University for those Northerners, but in the South, I think they say Southern. I'm going to Southern. The college is in Baton Rouge. And the incident happened off campus. Wilson collapsed after being punched in the chest multiple times while pledging to the Omega Psi Phi fraternity.
Oh, my God.
The Omega Psi Phi fraternity, for those who don't know, it's a historically African-American collegiate fraternity. It was founded in 1911 at Howard, and it's the first international frat organization established on the campus of a historically black college. That's why they call it one of the Divine Nine. And, you know, fraternities, they say, are all about service and community and manhood. This fraternity is no different. They, have these principles and rules that these men live by. The organization itself has a very rich history of social action, community service, and initiatives on education and civil rights and health. And like I said, it's part of the Divine Nine, which is what they call Black Greek organizations. So after the punching and his collapse, a group of young males changed the young man's clothes and dropped him off at a local hospital and reported that he collapsed after being struck in the chest while playing basketball at the park.
Why did they change his clothes?
Probably because there was blood all over him. I don't know.
Oh, geez.
I don't know.
Don't know. Okay.
I was just assuming, and when you assume, you make an ass out of you and me. And so I don't know, but they dropped him off, and he died at the hospital. And now 3 people have been charged and arrested. Caleb McRae was charged with manslaughter and criminal hazing, which I didn't know was a crime. And Kyle Thurman, who's 25, and Isaiah Smith, who's 28, was criminally charged with hazing. And just a little detail that I noticed is the men who were charged are in their mid to late 20s.
Oh, wow.
Which is interesting.
Yeah.
Because usually college kids are, 18, 19. But the
Younger,
hazing,
yeah.
I believe, is done by older established members in these fraternities. I don't know anything about Greek life.
Yeah.
I always wanted to join a black sorority. I went to an informational meeting. And Wendy, I don't like being told what to do. I don't like being told how to dress or where to be.
I would not.
And I realized I could not do this.
Can't do this shit. No.
Nope.
I would not do very well in one of those.
Couldn't be me. But there's also a lot of benefits, like networking and opportunities. And, I wanted to join because I was like, it would be good to have a group of other black women with children like me. And if, my son needed a job or, there was programs that I didn't know about, I could turn to these women for assistance, information, etc. And my cousin was like, girl, just join a church.
Just join a church.
You don't need to do all that. So anyway, not to make light of this young man's death, Caleb Wilson, who was 20 years old and died. The hazing is an issue. It's not an issue exclusive
issue
to black
forever.
Yeah, black people. It's been an issue forever, and I don't know where we go from here because it's been years since I heard about a hazing death, to be honest.
Yeah.
So I just
I remember when I was younger, it used to happen like all the time.
Right,
so I guess they've made some progress, but it's still happening.
Yeah. So rest in power to Caleb Wilson.
Yeah.
What else you got, my friend?
Well, I mentioned the lady who was arrested for imprisoning and abusing her stepson.
Yes.
So this happened in Connecticut. The woman's name is Kimberly Sullivan. She's 56.
Okay.
And her son her stepson,
Okay.
was found in her home weighing only 68 pounds. He's 32 years old.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, 5'9" and 68 pounds.
Oh my God.
He'd suffered from extreme neglect, starvation, and cruelty, and he started a fire in the house
to get help.
To get help, yeah, and that's when they found him.
Oh my
and Kimberly Sullivan is charged with assault, kidnapping, unlawful restraint, and cruelty to persons. She, of course, denies the allegations, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, who else could it have been? Did you say her name was
who
Karen?
else was it? Kimberly.
Oh, okay.
Kimberly.
I was going to say.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Golly. Cruelty is quite baffling to me.
Yeah, I don't understand
There's
it.
like a switch that has to flip in your psyche in order to think that is acceptable to do.
I just think of the book, I don't know if you ever read it. I read it a long time ago, but it was a boy called It.
Yes. Girl, I read that too. That's giving a child called It vibes for sure.
Yeah.
I'll never forget there was a scene in that story where the mom took the boy's hand and put it on the hot stove.
Yeah.
And just watched him suffer.
And just how he described how she looked like happy when she was punishing him.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's what this kind of reminds me of. And I feel so sorry for that young man who had to endure that for so long. And hopefully he gets the help that he needs and things can be moving towards a more positive direction in his life.
Yeah.
I'm glad he's away from that awful, nasty, despicable, evil, allegedly, I guess.
Allegedly, yes. All of this is allegedly. Yeah.
I need to have a allegedly drop. So we could just hit a button and
just
have it
drop
go.
it in.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Yeah, I'm going to record several.
Going to do it. Okay.
Yeah. But I don't have any other stories. Do you, my friend?
Well, I had that update with the guy his name is Dustin Mitchell Kearsum.
Uh-huh.
So Dustin Mitchell Kearsum was 35, and he was found dead in a tent. He was camping north of Big Sky, Montana. And he was expected home, and he never showed up. And so his girlfriend went to the campsite and found him dead. And initially they thought he was killed by a bear. But it turns out he was murdered by a stranger named Darren Christopher Abbey, a 41-year-old man from Basin, Montana.
Okay.
This all happened last October. So they discovered through the autopsy that he was killed by multiple chop wounds.
Oh, my God.
And it was learned that this guy, Darren Abbey, had killed him with an axe.
Oh, my Lord.
Yeah. So at some point, Abbey said that he struck Kearsum with a piece of wood and then stabbed him in the neck with a screwdriver and then hit him with an axe.
Oh, my God.
And he's a complete stranger, so I don't know what
brought all this
why.
on.
Yeah, I don't know why.
I want to know the why.
We're waiting for the trial. I'll keep you posted on that.
Okay.
And then I had one other story. This is a cute story.
Okay. Lay it on me.
911 received a call from a boy in
a little kid,
a little boy in Mount Pleasant, Wisconsin. And he called and said that his mommy was being bad and she needed to be locked up.
Oh.
And the dispatcher said, okay, what's going on? And he said, come and get my mommy. And
boy.
They went to the house, and it turns out that his mom ate his ice cream.
Oh, no.
So he called 911.
How dare she? Oh, my God. Wow. And
so they had a little discussion with him about how you can't call 911 for those reasons. And then a couple days later, the police came back and they brought him 2 scoops of ice cream with blue sprinkles.
Oh my God. That is so touching.
Cute.
Oh my
right?
gosh. I don't normally have nice things or ideas about law
like
enforcement.
These police officers are women, so yeah.
That would explain
tracks,
it. Yeah, that explains that. Wow, what a really lovely story. Thank you for sharing that with us.
You're welcome.
All right, y'all. That's the news. Thank you so much for being here with us. Thank you to all of our listeners, new and old. We love you. We appreciate you. And we hope you come back next time.
Yeah.
Until then, look alive, y'all. It's crazy out there.
Now, where can the people find us, Beth?
Our website is fruitloopspod.com, and we use fruitloops.pod for all of our social media. The footnotes for each episode can be found on our website. Plus, check it out for the different ways that you can support the show. You can also join us on Patreon, where we have hundreds of hours of bonus content. You can also support us by supporting our sponsors or by giving us a 5-star review.
5 stars only, please.
Also, don't forget to subscribe.
That's right. Now, this is a weekly podcast, and episodes drop on Thursdays. So until next time, love you. Bye.
Well, Elon Musk is soon.
You know what?
Let's get started.
Let's get started. We'll talk about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Okay.
All right. He died in, let's see. Sorry, let me start over again.
No problem.
My apologies.
No
I'm so
problem.
bad with this whole talking thing.
Now you stop it right there and don't say another mean thing about my friend Beth. Enough.
Okay.
Basta.
Okay.
We did it.
We did it. We did it.
Go get your grandson.
Okay, yeah,
lady.
he's obviously anxious.
He has something he wants to say.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get this audio on the drive, and I'll see you on the internet.
Okay.
Love you. Bye.
Love you too. Bye.
Ohio is a land of mystery, from missing shipwrecks and lost treasure beneath her surface to strange phenomenon slicing through her skies. From myths that have evolved around historic events and people, to the unsolved murders and disappearances that keep her communities wondering what happened. Find Ohio Mysteries on your favorite podcast app, and let's explore the inexplicable. OhioMysteries.com.
Hello, this is Gary Chahot welcoming you to check out the French History Podcast. Our main show covers the history of France from the first humans until present. If you liked Mike Duncan's The History of Rome and wanted a similar program covering the land of beauty, culture, and love, we are exactly that. We also host world-renowned scholars who have delivered guest episodes on their specialties, including 18th century pirates, revolutionary booksellers in 20th century Paris, the special friendship between the Marquis de Lafayette and Thomas Jefferson, and numerous others. Learn what you love and listen to the French History Podcast today.